Javier. I would like to have a friends discussion about EUCC. And my first question would be, why is everything so complex? After 5 years of development, I think it was almost 5 years in 2019 that you have the first meetings of the EUCC other working group. So why?
Yeah, almost 5 years. So first of all, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to EUCC with a Spanish accent. So first of all, I would like also to give you a disclaimer, because we have no more information than what is already public. We don't speak on behalf of the European Commission, ENISA, the other working group, or anyone but ourselves. We will share some visions and opinions, but of course we can go wrong, and we usually do, so don't take us too seriously. So it's so complex. Do you really think so? It's so complex?
After 5 years of working, and we don't have a CAP, we don't have labs that can do UCC, even we have doubts of accreditation requirements. So
that's true, but you need also to consider that this is the first scheme under the Cybersecurity Act, so we didn't have previous experience on how you are supposed to develop schemes under the Cybersecurity Act. We have gone through a pandemic when everything seemed to be ready. The CRA appears, and we need to create something that is that can be compliant with the Cyber Resilience Act. Still everyone involved, from the European Commission to ENISA to the members of the ad hoc working group, everyone wanted to keep the high standard of quality without screwing up the industry. Going from the 400 pages of a text written by some common criteria groupies in the EUCC candidate scheme to 30 pages of legal text, this has been a real challenge. It's evident that many details must have fallen away. On the other side, ENISA's mandate is to create schemes, and we already have the scheme. And now the other working group is dismantled, so no UCS seems a priority, and the burden of further developing the scheme with the state-of-the-art documents, the guidance documents, this has been picked up by ESEM, which is the ECCG subgroup on UCC maintenance. So in this group, we have designated NCCA representatives and supported by ENISA. So potentially we don't have the same workforce than before, not even the same people. So probably they are also somehow repeating the same discussion that we already had 4 years ago. I have myself participated in more than 5 guidance documents. So far, only 2 have seen the light. So it's clearly work in progress, and it's a difficult task. So potentially it's complex, because it is complex.
It's complex, and let's be optimistic that everything will be in place soon.
We should.
Okay. There was one question from Petra about NAIA PP and CPPs, if they will be accepted and so on. What do you think? It's
not recognized. Next question. No, just joking. So no, really, every PP used under the CRA needs to be certified. So as today, as the CPPs are mostly used in the USA market, the PP itself is usually certified under the NIAP scheme as part of the evaluation of the first TOE compliant with this PP. And until now, this PP is automatically recognized by virtue of the CCRA, but we may not have the CCRA anymore covering us. So how it would work in a potential world without mutual recognition agreement between the United States and Europe? Well, indeed, it will not be so difficult to do the same under the EUCC. I mean, for the substantial assurance level, we can certify the PPE under EUCC and just use it. But anyway, I guess that we will have a mutual recognition agreement not so long from now, because otherwise we will have a lot of market fragmentation. But then going further, I would really like to see NIA PPs as EUCC PPs. They even provide some guidance, so they may be used for the high level, as we learned today from Nuria. For the higher levels, the EUCC requires PPs to provide some methodology for testing. So it would really be a nice match to have EUCC PPs based on NIA PPs. So we get this high level of detail for functional testing provided by the NIA PPs. And we may complement this with the European attack potential-based approach to the common criteria certification. Don't you think so?
Maybe in the future, but I think now we need something that doesn't create fragmentation. We need that developers can go to Europe, use NIA PPs, and obtain such a way EUCC. That's my view. I mean, there are a lot of issues that we cannot create new issues. We need to keep it as simple as possible, at least during the first year. That would be my view, but you never know. Okay, let's move. We have a lot of questions. There was a question for Nuria about for a patch, who defines if min or critical. I think that as you were one of the editors of the ISO technical specification 9569, maybe you can answer directly.
Okay, so what's the question exactly?
Who defines if a patch is minor or critical?
Okay, so we have two different things here. The first thing is the difference between minor and major. There was a big discussion during the development of the ISO patch management technical specification about this, and finally we refuse to provide a definition of what is major and what is minor, and just let each scheme to make their own definition, because at the end of the day they are the risk counters, and it's not something related to the methodology itself. But classically, we have seen these concepts as part of the assurance continuity documents from both SOJA-IS and CCRA, and the thumb rule was that if the evidence of the evaluation was affected, it was major, otherwise it was minor. In the case of EUCC as a scheme, the determination of minor versus major should be provided by the vendor as part of the impact analysis report, but the last word is on the certification body, who finally determines if it's major or minor. Critical, what is critical should be pretty clear. So if your product is being exploited or hacked in the wild, or this is something that could happen, then this is critical.
Okay, it's not my topic. I cannot comment any more than
you know, because in the case of critical in the case of critical vulnerabilities, you have no time to discuss with the certification body whether it's major, minor, or whatever. It's critical. Yeah, you need to react. Yeah, that's the point.
Okay. And there was another question from Christine Kripa about A+ accreditation. I have a similar question to you, but maybe this one I will answer. At A+, we plan to be authorized in 2 NCCAs, okay, as ITSEF. We are in the process in both of them. progressing slower than I would like, but it is what it is. I think all the NCCAs, the state-of-the-art document appear in July, and it takes time. I think one of the lessons learned is that it takes time if you want to involve accreditation body, if you want to involve the NCCA authorization process. Okay, so we were accredited, I think, June as ITSEF. Okay, in EUCC, we are in the process of being authorized by 2 NCCAs as ITSEF. As a CAP, we plan to be authorized in Spain. Okay, we are also accredited 70065, and we are in the process of being EUCC accredited. That is something that will happen in the following months. Okay, so I would say slower as expected for everyone. I mean, there is no CAP EUCC authorized, no one. So, and everyone, I think we are facing some delays more than expected by the community. And I think this could affect the business. Okay, for everyone, because people want to have EUCC certification, but currently it's difficult to say when CAPs, labs will be available for it. Okay. Okay. One of the questions that I had is, Javier, previously common criteria certified product will be recognized under the EUCC scheme. And I think there was also a question of Petra about products certified with CC 3.1 revision 5, because EUCC is only talking about CC 2022. So what do you think, Javier?
Okay, so first of all, certificates remain valid until their expiry date. This is one point. Another point is that member states are allowed to recognize certificates emitted by third countries. During the adult working group times, there was a guide for conversion planned, but as other guidance, this was not finally published, or it has not been yet published. Anyway, with the implementing act as published today, it's not a big deal to update a certification. I mean, at the end of the day, from a technical point of view, it's just common criteria. So you can, let's say, reuse from the lab perspective. If we are talking about specific conversion of the certificates, and specifically this topic regarding the version of common criteria, I would expect some coming changes in the regulation to tackle this problem.
Yeah, I think
so
this
it will be allowed.
For me, this has been an opportunity that maybe we have lost, because I remember being in discussion with different NCCA that said, okay, yeah, common criteria certificate will be translated in EUCC certificate. Straightforward, just customer will be required to sign some commitment and so on. And this, I think, would have encouraged companies to keep doing common criteria certification this year. As we will see in Doha next year, the number of CC certification has gone down. Okay, so I think it's a pity. Okay, that this transition guide, this guidance was not published at the very beginning.
You think that we have frightened the market a bit without having published this guidance?
If I need to spend a lot of money on CC certificate and you don't know if this will be UCC later, I mean, I will only take the decision if I need the CC certificate now, not thinking a little in the midterm. And I think this was one issue, okay, for the market. Okay.
I agree.
Okay, Jose Pulido, there are a couple of questions about CRA. Okay, if you can join.
Sure.
There was one question about the payment industry, smart card and terminals, and how they will be impacted by CRA. What can you say about that?
Well, if we are talking specifically about credit cards, for example, credit cards are basically smart cards, okay? But at the end, the architecture stack of this type of products includes a security IC platform, operating system, and application, okay? Usually, the security IC platform and the operating system will be certified under EUCC, but for the payment applications in the smart card, there is no obligation, okay? And so there is currently no mainstream protection profile in the industry. They are not obligated to perform common criteria or EUCC evaluation. So it is possible that using one of the harmonized standards that are being developed or other assessment methods of the NLF could be a better option than going through the EUCC presumption of conformity, because the EUCC certificate, including or let's say excluding the applicative of the payment, will not ensure the conformance with CRA of the full product, in specific of the application being in charge of implementing the payment protocol and so on. For payment terminals like point of interactions and so on, they are expected to be certified under EUCC with the protection, the typical protection profiles that have been used within the technical domain of the hardware devices with security boxes. So these devices could obtain presumption of conformity potentially. It is yet to be seen what will be the consideration given to the backend part of the payment industry, if they will be considered as remote data processing solutions needed for the operation of the device or not. This is something to be discussed and further clarified, but in principle there should be different strategies that will fit for the different parts or the different technical components involved in the ecosystem of the payment industry.
Okay, Jose, thank you. And there was another question about the SIMS card and what will happen with CRA, if they will be affected or not.
Well, SIM cards technically can be considered as smart cards as well. Okay, they will have a certified platform, certified the operating system. So potentially they could benefit from this presumption of conformity. We can have the same situation if the applicative, the application used to implement the functional SIM aspects is included in the scope of a EUCC certification, then it can obtain full presumption of conformity. If not, then they could maybe, and this is an area to be explored in deep yet, to demonstrate the conformance with CRA requirements of the part of the product excluded from the EUCC certification by other means like the NLF assessment methods.
Yeah. Perfect, Jose. So thank you for answering this question about CRA. I have 3 more questions to Javier. One will be how EUCC scheme is addressing emerging technologies like cloud services or IoT.
So again, EUCC is about products, and as such, it is technology agnostic as the CC itself. So as long as a product can be uniquely identified, we can certify it. So IoT is not a problem at all, although there may be some lessons learned from other schemes like CSEP. But cloud computing is a different story with so many edges. It's a difficult topic, but we have UCS, which is specifically about cloud services and may probably be more applicable and the way to go. But overall, one of the premises behind CSA was to be able to reuse efforts. So if we don't want to be left behind, we have to be flexible and find ways to use these schemes in combination. But this is something that needs to be elaborated.
Yeah, I think it needs to be elaborated, and we need to evolve as an industry because, as you know, for example, us in jtsec, 60-70% of the evaluation are cloud-based. Okay, we needed to evolve the methodology nationally. I'm concerned that only with common criteria we are not able to address the change of the market.
Yeah. In Spain, we have been using with great success our fixed time methodology, Lince, to evaluate cloud services, but it does not seem an easy task to emit a certificate.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week you will participate in a panel discussion at ICCC about cloud evaluation. So whoever is interested,
we will have more time to discuss it.
Yeah. Okay. And one of the favorite topics about mutual recognition. I mean, it's clear now there is no mutual recognition. Do you think that will be mutual recognition? And soon or not, or will wait, or?
I don't know. It's it's more a political than a technical issue. There are misalignments at many levels. It looks like the Commission is trying to get it, but it seems that they say that the current CCLA proposal is not acceptable from the legal point of view. But again, my point here is that technically 80% of the work is the same because we have the same standard behind. So nothing precludes me as a big lab like A+, with several labs across the world to emit an EUCC certificate and an IAP certificate for the same product as long as we have the pertinent authorizations. So
yes,
let's say we are in a good position.
We are in a good position. I think one of the things that we are doing is using the same test tools in different labs, that repeatability and so on will be smoother. Okay, and will allow us to be able to provide both certificates, reducing effort. But it's difficult topic. I hope. I mean, we need mutual recognition. If not, we are we are destroying all what we have done in a lot of years. You and me, 18 years working on this, but there are people that have been almost 30 years working on this. So
common criteria will not be common anymore.
Yeah. It was never common. So. Anyway. Okay. And another topic that concern our smart card vendors is the site certificates status, if it will be possible to reuse of a star. What do you think? It's clear that there are no more site certificates in EUCC, but do you think that reusing a star will be possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's not anyone's decide to have a worse scheme than the one we had, quite the contrary. So, we cannot emit site certificates, that's for sure. This is not considered under the current regulation, so it's not possible. But we have other options. On one hand, we have the STAR reports, as you say. And on the other hand, ANSI, the French scheme, published some years ago an AELC reuse methodology. And I think that this may be transformed into a state-of-the-art document in the future. So probably this will be the way to go.
Yeah, my opinion would be to customers that they should be calm down. I mean, start reusing. I have been in meetings with different CCAs saying this will not change. Okay, we need to fine tune the details. Okay, so we need to be a little relaxed or calm down, because there are a lot of issues right now. We need to solve to have ITSEF caps ready to carry out the EUCC work, and I'm pretty sure that this will be possible.
It's just that we need to twist a bit the technical stuff to make the legislative side match. But as I said before, everyone wants to keep this working. So
yeah. Okay, and I have seen a couple of questions about CRA that I didn't see before. So, Jose, could you join? Yes, are you there? Could you unmute?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is one question about which is the CRA product category of mobile devices.
They don't fall into critical or important. They are non-critical, non-important in the default category. However, as we have seen in the slide related to the statistics, some protection profiles, like the ones for mobile device fundamentals, are very common. So potentially they could benefit from this EUCC certification to comply with CRA as well. I don't know. I think that the categories of products could evolve in the close future to contemplate this type of devices, but it's not clear yet. If we look at the mobile parts individually, for example, the operating system itself, it falls under the category of important products, and they need to comply with CRA with the constraints for that category. But the full product, as the tablet or the smartphone, is not included in any of the categories.
Thank you, Jose. And there is also another question about free software. If used to develop or configure a chip, if it is subject to the CRA. As far as I understand, CRA is about full product, no? So
well, it's there is a special treatment for open source projects, but in general, if the open source code is using a commercial product in a product involving in some commercial transaction, then it counts as a part of the product that needs to comply with the CRA requirements as well. So it will be part of the evaluation or of the assessment as any other parts of the product. If it's just a pure software open source product, well, it's a bit more complex.
And there is a last minute question, I think last question from Petra. Will CRA critical important class 1 and 2 products be required to certify at EUCC high, even though there are no state-of-the-art documents? Good question.
I cannot tell what will happen in the future. If high is, I mean, right now there is no mandatory need for any EUCC certification. The regulation will change when implementing acts will be elaborated in the future. But the first candidate to require a mandatory certification will be critical products, not important ones. Although in one of the classes, I don't remember exactly, one of two, it could be required for certain vertical categories as well, but again with substantial. Okay, I'm not sure if high will be required in the future. We have to see how the regulation and the delegated acts will evolve.
Thank you, Jose. And I'm very happy that people are staying here with us because it's almost 1 hour and a half now. But Javier, I have last question and we close. What do you think is the main challenge ahead that we have now for EUCC to be operating, running? What do we need to solve now? Javier, you are mute.
Sorry. Well, I think that we have covered some of the main challenges. You know, recognition agreements, ability to adapt to new times, but also harmonization and newcomers. But overall, I think that at the short term, the main challenge is do not break things, do not disrupt the market. This is something that we should avoid at all cost. And at the midterm, I would like to see how we are able to reach the final user and to provide the real value. I asked myself if European citizen will choose a new certified product over other that is not certified. So this is also a big challenge.
A nice midterm goal. Yes, short term, I think we need to have caps, labs, and that we can continue working as always. So I think it's important. And now there is some uncertainty. That's the reality. I think everyone is working very hard for this not to happen, but it's a potential issue. Yeah. So I would like to thank Javier, Jose, and Nuria it was amazing, and also the audience. You stay with us a long time.